Craig and nothing else. Come on, you garbage ass preseason Falcons. Pretty good pass breakup there. Might have to go get some stimulants instead of depressants.
Yeah, I just had coffee just not too long ago.
Get a stimulant.
More stimulants.
How do you kick off a hype train on Twitch? Or do we have to be partners before we do that? Before we hype train?
I think so.
I see alerts. It's like, so-and-so kicked off a hype train. What the fuck is this? What exactly is a hype train? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 363 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and NFL preseason coverage podcast. We spoke briefly of it. It's like 10 seconds. Maybe not this week. Well, this is the last preseason week, isn't it? Next to last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. This is the final ones.
Yeah. We have college football next week and then NFL the weekend after that. I believe is how the cookie crumbles. Well, there's one college football game on tomorrow. Somebody opens the season like a week ahead of time. Tonight's news: PS5 just got more expensive. Kirby Air Riders Direct. More on the Xbox ROG Ally? Question mark. And Gamescom opening night live. The German Keeleys. Does Keeley have anything to do with this? Is this the Das Keeleys? We're past his Summer Games Fest. This isn't really his jam. Is it? No, gaming. This is his show, isn't it?
I'm about to say, no,
opening night live. Yeah, it is. This is the German Keeleys.
Yeah.
This guy does all the shows at this point.
He's the only gig in town right now.
Yeah. He is the presenter. Wonder why none of the other, but it may be his means because he was an investor, right? Like he has a little bit of backing with getting funding and things like that. So maybe it's a little bit different for him than it is for other game media personalities or presenters. There's plenty of talent floating around there, but Keeley seems to corner these events.
Yeah, he's the Ryan Seacrest of gaming.
That's actually a pretty accurate description. What'd that make us of gaming? What are we are the what of gaming? What does that make us? Oliver Twist?
TMZ of gaming.
TMZ of gaming.
TMZ
of gaming.
What? It's not TMZ? What are we?
TMZ.
Like the people that get all the celebrity scoops and stuff.
Yes.
Okay. It'd be pretty big. TMZ's a pretty big deal. We're just a smaller scale. We're like the local TMZ. We're like the Fox 5 TMZ version. Atlanta's own gaming news. The TMZ of Atlanta gaming. Is that how we start introducing ourselves now?
We can.
You can put it on there.
That's us. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's up?
And our resident lore master and soundboard master, Cesar Concepcion II. Cesar, welcome.
Hello.
How are you, gentlemen? It's Friday night. I feel like it was a super long week. Like, unnecessarily.
A little long in the tooth.
Yeah. Like dragging. What the hell's going on here? But it's all good. We're here to talk games. We're talking great values. and cost per dollar, and how the PS2 went from $299 to $249 to $199 to $149 within the span of like 4 or 5 years. That, of course, leads us into our first news story. PlayStation 5 is going up in price in the US starting yesterday, as of this recording, August 21st. I did confirm this at my local Walmart retailer this very day. This comes from Jordan Middler, but Jordan is just summarizing an announcement from Sony. Sony, quote, similar to many global businesses, we continue to navigate a challenging economic environment. Tariffs. As a result, we've made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price for PlayStation 5 consoles in the US starting on August 21st. The new prices are as follows. The PlayStation 5 is going to go from going up to $549, from $499.99. Your PlayStation 5 digital is going from $449 to $499.99. And your PlayStation 5 Pro is going from $699 to $749.99. So an overall $50 increase here in the US of A's. Jordan Middler notes that previously, in August 2022, the digital and standard editions of the PS5 got price increases in the UK, Europe, Australia, Japan, China, Mexico, and the Great White North, Canada, but not here in the US of A. Jordan also notes the Nintendo Switch, the original hardware, the OLED, and the Switch Lite all increased by $40, $50, and $30 respectively earlier this month. Tariffs are to blame, and some accessories went up on the Switch 2. No PS5 accessories went up, did they? Did the disc drive increase, or controllers or anything? Okay.
Just consoles.
Peripherals are unaffected. What about the stand? Isn't the stand sold separately now? Don't you have to get that separate thing? Yeah, that was unaffected.
Everything, I think, is just consoles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So hopefully you already are in the PS5 ecosystem, or bought one after you heard the news, because they're now $50 more. Maybe we'll see Sony, Nintendo with the original Switch. Maybe we'll see better value passed on to consumers in the form of bundles. Take the razor blade hit and give away a razor blade with the razor to offset that cost a little bit and get you in that ecosystem. And maybe a 30-month trial wouldn't be bad. 30-day trial of an online service, their respective online service, to try to get you going in that. Or hell, V-Bucks. People buy consoles for V-Bucks or Great White. Was it Great White Shark cards or something? Great Shark cards for Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. I've never bought one. I just know it comes with every SKU, and that's why they were in the top 10 on NPD for like 20 years. Ever since that game came out, it's been in the top 10 of NPD. It feels like. All right, I watched a little bit of this, but there was a Kirby Air Riders direct.
It was very, very in depth. It
was extremely in depth
style.
It was. It felt like another Smash Brothers direct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like Meta Knight has joined the fray, and it would introduce the riders, and being very in depth, as Brant put it. They broke down like, these aren't drivers, these are riders of the machines.
Yeah.
And Cesar was like texting me the whole time. I was tied up in a meeting during the show. He was like, this is a very GameCube-ass game. As I went back and watched it later that night, there was a lot of comparisons to the GameCube game, which came out 20 years ago. And so Sakurai's like, hey, back then there were 3 racers. Now you have like 5 riders. There's like 5 riders that you could pick from, all with different abilities. And I'm like, every year Call of Duty gets skewed for just like nitpicking these 1 or 2 changes they're going to make. And here's this full-blown presentation about this brand new Switch 2 game, and they're talking about like the incremental upgrades from the GameCube version. And I'm like, man, this would not work with anybody but Nintendo. Nobody else is pulling this thing off. But it looks so fucking good. It looked like I feel like it's very F-Zero-esque. It's fast. that Kirby Air Rider for GameCube never felt as fast as the footage looks like on this one. We'll dip into the articles from Andy Robinson at videogameschronicle.com, who notes the Switch 2 Racer will release on November 20th. The 45-minute direct broke down the gameplay modes and features of Air Riders, which is a sequel to the 2003, okay, I'm staying corrected, 22-year-old GameCube game. Kirby GameCube title Air Ride, now officially set to release November 20th for Nintendo Switch for $70. Sakurai opened the presentation revealing that the game is developed by frequent collaborator Bandai Namco. Pretty much a side studio of Sakurai's Project Sora at this point, it seems like. According to Sakurai, Air Riders was born following a strong request from Nintendo's leadership that he explore a sequel to the GameCube original. Oh, still only Nintendo. Just talks about support from the higher-ups at Nintendo. There's a whole bunch of details about the gameplay in here, I guess from their press briefing.
Oh, he went in depth into like everything. I mean, we don't have to do that, but like he touched on like all the writing techniques and stuff like that, and how technically you don't have to steer the whole time. You can basically just move left and right to kind of maneuver your driver. There's some drifting and boost charge specials. You can actually attack the other drivers now. Of course, he went in depth on the riders, all the different people that, all the different characters you can pick, and of course the machines you can ride,
and jump off.
And then copy abilities. Copy abilities aren't just for Kirby this time. All of the riders can use these copy abilities.
And they use like one of their items, right? Like Meta Knight's like swinging at people with the sword, and they roped it into the lore of the character from the Kirby universes. I like there's one bit where he's like, in the GameCube version, we only use one button. Unfortunately, we now have to use two buttons on the Switch 2. I was like, only Nintendo, man. This is a very Nintendo.
You use B for boost and Y for your special. That's it.
Then they showed like the open what was that open range mode called? Psycha? Like City Trial in Skya. I said it backwards. In Skya. It did take, Cesar said when he was texting me, it did take the whole 45 minutes. Like, this is a GameCube-ass looking game. It looks really, really good.
And in typical Sakurai fashion, he like actually sat down and played it. You saw him playing the game.
Yeah. It
wasn't just like pre-recorded footage and of, somebody else off to the side, some professional gamers. It's just him messing around, showing you how it works. He's like even running into like he's running into stuff, and he's having a good time showing you how everything, all the mechanics function, and it looked like a good game. I'm with Cesar though. It's true to that GameCube DNA.
Anything else in that presentation we want to touch on? There's gonna
what
be.
does it say?
I saw there's gonna be like a PAX demo via that warp tunnel thing.
Yeah.
You
it also says
that
there's stadiums where you take your powered up machines to the stadium to compete to be crowned a winner. You have the air ride mode. 6 riders compete across the finish line. And then just lessons, which I guess is just more of where you can tinker and experiment with different play styles, because he said that like all the different machines have their own pros and cons and stuff like that. So
kind of like the karts in Mario Kart, right? Where you have like a introductory one that drifts better, one that accelerates better.
And he even brought that up. He goes, there's already a racing game on the Switch too, Mario Kart World. But he's like, so why make another racing game? But it's not just about the racing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very different, and it's not about the racing.
Chaotic. Looking like it's full of hijinks.
It does.
Is this a day one for everybody? Cesar, I think you were determined this was a day one for you.
Yeah, I'm probably day one.
It would be nice if we got the GameCube one before that. We could kind of stream that and mess around with it.
I kind of figured that's how they would have ended this direct, was like, and the GameCube original will be available later today or in the next week or something. But
we did get the tracks
still on the thunder from Chibi Robo.
Yeah, Cesar brings up a good point.
I mean, we got time. Game comes out in November. You still have September, October for NSO update.
Yeah, true.
And we did get the music in the Nintendo Music app, like the first 7 songs or something, which the music is very good for this. We talked about Chibi Robo last week, right? That was in last week's news.
Yes.
Okay. We knew that was coming. It's officially out as of 2 days ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the day of the podcast.
I think it's the same day as the direct.
The direct, yeah.
It's later that day.
Chibi Robo. Do we have Wave Race yet?
No.
We have F-Zero. We need to stream F-Zero. That's all something we would get into. I know Buish likes F-Zero as well. We still doing Delta Force tomorrow, potentially. How big's that install? Cesar, did you download it yet?
Yeah. I don't remember, man. I know it came out on consoles this week. So I clicked on download since it was free. I don't know about the campaign because they said the campaign was additional DLC. I haven't fired it up yet, so I'm assuming you have to go into the game and download the campaign. So
okay.
I just saw the 4-player co-op for the campaign, and it's just a recreation of the original Xbox One. So
is that free as well? Is that what we're going to be playing, or are we doing a PvE thing?
I believe it is. It said it was no charge on there, so I can check real quick.
Yeah, I'm curious because that might end up being our stream tomorrow. Get into some Delta Force madness.
Is that just a Game Pass thing, or is that free on all consoles?
All consoles, I think. Just
oh yeah,
it's a free to play. It's our favorite type of game.
It is. That might be the only reason I'm struggling with Battlefield is because we have so many different options on the lower expense end of things. Or we could stream more stuff that we have expended on, such as
Battlefield. Yeah, Battlefield 6. Ooh, $70. Ooh, we have all these other free options available.
It's hard, man, and I want to support it, especially if the campaign is solid. But it's like, damn. But I've been missing it ever since we played last Saturday. I've been thinking about it, and stats are popping up, and memes are popping up, and we'll send each other stuff the shotgun got nerfed yesterday, and Cesar sent it to all of us. We'll finally have justification instead of getting one hit kill by that fucking shotgun.
Shotguns are mean. They're really mean.
I sent you all that crazy run of that guy that dove under the tank and
that was insane. It was just working it from underneath and then shooting people's feet out from underneath. That was awesome. Yeah, the more I've thought about it, it's like, God, that was a lot of fun. We had a really good time with it this time. Well, spoilers for games played, but
and 2 wins.
Yeah, we fucking won. We won a couple rounds, and it felt good. The game felt good. Somebody sent me something. It was either Russell or Cesar, or it might have been in our thread. Was saying the casual people who got frustrated early on, and we honestly did. We've been playing a lot of Call of Duty recently. It's we want those people to go back to Call of Duty. Battlefield has the steeper learning curve. You can't play it like Call of Duty. You can't just be running around acting a fool.
Yeah, it's that guy that said he put thousands of hours in Battlefield, and he's it's not for casuals. So
nope. You got to learn, and I think that was my reply in the thread. It's we got to learn these roles a little bit better. We can't all pick one of our each things. We've got to figure out what role fits best for that squad of 4, and then kind of have coordinated attacks. We do a pretty good job of spawning on each other and stuff. That's kind of a Battlefield staple, is that you end up doing that. But damn, I kind of want to play some more Battlefield. If that beta was open this weekend, I think we'd be playing it tomorrow for sure. Alas, it is closed. You can play Battlefield 6 on Xbox, and you can also play Xbox on Amazon Fire Stick TV and many other items, including the upcoming Xbox ROG Ally handheld.
Nice segue.
You like that big loop that took? It was a huge
well done
weaving turn there.
A little bit of reach.
Showed everybody.
It's a hell of a stretch.
Call you Reed Richards.
Oh, God. It's not bad.
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, Mr. Fantastic segue. On the stretch. No, we got there. They're pitching everything as an Xbox, and they showed off the handheld. We talked about the rumored handheld for a long time. Then it was unofficially unveiled, then was officially unveiled, and now we have a little bit of pricing and dates. This is summarized by Jordan Midler at VGC.com. Microsoft has announced the release date for the Xbox ROG Ally line of gaming handhelds. It also announced, this is, in my opinion, the most important part of this briefing, the handheld compatibility program, which will make more titles optimized for the ROG Ally. So akin to the, what does Steam calls it, like playable and verified?
Steam verified, yeah.
Which is super helpful. You see a game in there, you see that green check mark, it's just going to run.
So the Delta Force Black Hawk Down, I didn't mean to interrupt, download is 26 gigs.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I'll have that ready for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
You have to go into the menu to start it. It's not something you can add.
So download the main thing and then go in and grab the campaign for free. Correct. This is free.
Yeah, I've not paid for anything. I think they're trying to get you to tie it to like a level infinite pass, or like it's whatever their battle pass is. But it says, it gave me the option like, no, I don't want to do this. It's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to. And it's like, oh, okay.
Here's the campaign. You earned it, buddy. You can have it. Yes, we'll download that. It'll probably be us jamming on that tomorrow. Getting into whatever madness that entails. The handheld, which was announced during the Xbox Game Showcase at Summer Game Fest, is a collaboration between Asus and Microsoft. It is a ROG Ally featuring Xbox branding and a bespoke OS, adding to ROG's successful gaming handheld line. Both handhelds will be released on October 16th. Less than 2 months away. It's a pretty quick turnaround. Details about pricing and pre-orders are coming soon, according to Microsoft. However, as Brant knows, we already know what these prices are.
It's like $5.99 for the base and $8.99 for the X.
Was it $8.99 or $8.49? I want to say I saw $8.49 floating around there. I might be wrong.
900.
It was $8.99.
I think it was I think it was 900.
Which, this is the Z1E2, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the newest chipset.
Yeah. AMD Ryzen
the
AI Z2 Extreme is in the ROG Ally X, Xbox Ally X, and in the ROG Xbox Ally is the AMD Ryzen Z2A. So that's the new Zen 2 architecture that we haven't seen in anything. Did the Lenovo or something launch with this, or we haven't seen this yet in a handheld?
Not the extreme one, just the standard.
Just the standard Z2.
Mm-hmm. This is the first one from Asus that's Z2 Extreme. I think there was talks about like the Lenovo, like you said, releasing it, but I don't think it's officially out. It's just like they show the specs, and I think one of those have an OLED. I want to say it's like the Lenovo one. One of them has the OLED, but it's not out yet.
Okay. Is the Lenovo handheld the one with like the Switch style break-off controllers, and I think they have mouse controls on that one too? Okay.
Yes.
I haven't seen or known anybody that has one of those devices.
Outside of I've seen some like maybe social media influencers say that prefer that versus the Asus one. I think the Asus one is the most common one outside of the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Love both of those handhelds. They're such cool devices. Oh, we'll see where this goes. I'm very excited for the handheld compatibility program. That just, any sort of like official metric, I feel pushes that compatibility. So the more Steam Decks they sell, and Steam is like offering incentives for developers to add that mode in there. I feel like it adds more value to that handheld. If the Steam Deck just came out and nobody tried to optimize for it at all, it would have fallen super flat. And it's not a runaway success, but it has market share and people talk about it, and that Steam Deck verified program I think has a lot to do with pushing that. And I think this will do the same thing on the Windows, whatever this Windows handheld experience ends up being. I think it helps that out a ton. I saw somewhere you're still going to end up streaming a bunch of your Xbox content, which I'm like, oh God, no.
I think that's what the complaint is from some people. They don't feel that the name Xbox on there is accurate because you can't. Because we talked about before where they made the pledge to keep doing forward compatibility, right? And I mentioned before that this is what they're referring to as a way for you to play your Xbox console games on a PC. So there's some people that feel that it's misleading to name this an Xbox. They should do like Xbox PC or something else to differentiate it, because it's like you don't want to get the misconception that, oh, my library I've purchased on my Xbox One and Series consoles and 360 backwards compatibility is going to be playable on this natively, and that's where you come in, Richard, was with the streaming. Like if you own those games digitally, you'll be able to stream them. But that is it. I mean, it's more just basically a portable PC. Yeah. But I don't know if that's a confirmation that we'll get 360 streamable, because not every 360 game is streamable, because I've always looked for like a Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon.
Those are always our examples.
Your OG Blinks the Cat is, I know, one of the streamable games. I'm not sure how they decide to do stuff like that, but that seems like the possibility is there,
Yeah. And that, if you're a longtime listener to this show, you probably already know this, but if you're brand new joining us tonight, first off, welcome. Second off, we have every platform and we support all of them, but I don't think any of us primarily purchase for Xbox. It's not our day one unless it's an exclusive. And for many years, they ran the best backwards compatibility program in the industry. There was nobody compared to what they were doing with an Xbox game that ran in 4K, or an Xbox 360 game that previously was, $60 or $70 on eBay that you just got a SKU for $10 digitally, and you had it, and it ran better than any other way you could play that before. So we've kind of been holding on to these libraries, hoping, and they've come forward, right? We have Xbox Series X's and S's, and they play on those. But just alternate means where you could play your Nintendo stuff portably. PlayStation has the Portal solution. Just another way to play those games somewhere else. If you're going to call this, SSR put, if you're going to call this thing an Xbox, but your whole library is not going over there, what exactly is this? It's no more an Xbox than a ROG Ally playing Forza and Halo Infinite is, right?
Yeah, because it should be like a ROG Xbox PC Ally or something like that. They try something to differentiate it. I mean, but maybe they might surprise us. Maybe there's something they'll fix out pretty soonish. But a lot of people have been vocal about that.
Yeah.
Like true people being vocal about it, not people who are doing the fake console warring stuff on there to build engagement for their monetary values on social media. But like people like I've got a huge Xbox library, and you tell me I got to stream it. I mean, it's a valid complaint, valid point to bring up. So
I think I've had an external drive hooked up to my Xbox One since they added that compatibility program. Like, I've thrown all this backwards compatible stuff on an external drive, and I just know I have this huge Xbox library, like I know both of you guys do. And remember, that's still like the best way to play the first Assassin's Creed game, right? And that one upscaled in full 4K. Like, it's still
HDR, super bright.
Yeah, that is the premier way to play the original Assassin's Creed. For what that game is, better or worse, like this, you want to experience that? It's on Series S and X, and I think a handheld Xbox should also represent that.
I mean, let's hope they resolve it, right? I mean, we'll see out the gate if this is kind of like an Asus thing. I mean, it's basically PC, so Xbox can kind of shy away from it, but I mean, it seems like this is the direction they want to go, because I got a feeling if this does well, they'll look like less fondly at making like another homegrown console. I mean, I'm 100% certain they'll make another one for the next generation, because they're putting a lot of research into it, or they may just stop at the specs and just share them out there. It just all depends. It's all about the shareholders, their corporation. So
3DO style, like you've talked about before.
Yeah.
We buy a Samsung Xbox.
at this point they're trying to grow as a software company, But I mean, Xbox. I mean, Microsoft does provide hardware like Surface tablets and PCs, and they may not provide every computer or PC ever made, kind of like Mac does, but they do have a line that they feel is tailored to their OS. So I mean, they could always still build a console. I would imagine. My guess is, and I don't want to deviate on any more on this topic, but my guess is like if they do build something, it's going to be something like uber powerful, and it's probably going to be premium price, and they'll have other people come in to fill in the gaps or other starting points for people who don't want to pay that price. So,
what's kept them from? And I hate to even broach this, but as you're looking at new hardware and cost and subsidy and things like that, when you buy a new Roku, they change out the Roku remote every couple of years to add like Disney Plus button and Netflix button and Prime Video. Like you'll have these upgrades on the remote on that. What's to stop them from partnering with one of these companies? They obviously have a relationship with Amazon with the Fire Stick. What's to stop them from releasing an Amazon Xbox that is heavily integrated with Fire TV crap? You automatically get that Amazon Prime Video app on the console and that sort of stuff. It's some sort of gateway we're just used to that as consumers at this point. That is that one of the next steps, subsidy wise?
I mean, if you're talking exclusively about Amazon, they'd rather try to sell you their Luna.
Yeah.
And Prime Gaming. And
yeah, they'll sell you a controller and a Fire Stick, right? That's their in.
Mm-hmm.
But what if they're partnering Luna is not Xbox, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, like as Richard mentioned, I mean, you have Luna has a way to stream Game Pass games that adds value, right? Microsoft does not care at this point to sandbox people in certain avenues, right? So, I mean, if you can get subscriptions up, that is their thing. We all know today's Microsoft is subscriptions and software, and it's not often they come out with hardware because they typically killed off like Zune and
the Zune is such a good product
and stuff like that. So Windows Phone was another one too that I've had before in the past, and I enjoyed as a great alternative to Android and iOS. So, but
Windows phones were great and had great cameras, well ahead of those other two.
What's interesting now is that you have the Sony is still the typical hardware manufacturer as well as Nintendo, and Microsoft has taken this avenue, as you mentioned before, Richard, that they're going to optimize games for their Windows space because Windows is a system hog, and there's going to be a layer where you can kind of like do a bare minimum of Windows and get games optimized right out the box, or fast loading. They mentioned on there to stream assets to download games quicker, to start them quicker. The stuff that Steam has been very good on doing in their Linux operating system of doing backwards compatibility on Windows-based games by using Wine and other
Proton
software add-ons. Yeah, Proton is their biggest one right here too, to make stuff compatible. So I mean, at this point, I don't think Steam is gonna take it lying down. I mean, I imagine Steam will be playable on the next Xbox console. But I think we've seen the rumors. We've seen the rumors. That somebody leaked out. A hardware console from Steam. That's built upon their platform for their version of Steam OS, to further increase their compatibility and move away from Windows. So
another Steam box round.
Basically, because they see that the perception will be great there, and also that. There's rumors going around that they're going all in on the next handheld console where it's going to be a lot more powerful. Like they kind of like toned it down for price wise because they've done this before. They've come out with Steam Link, they come out with Steam boxes, and it hasn't taken off. But the public is more perceptive now in PC gaming. So, and then you have, I primarily use AMD for my graphics card, but it's not as difficult now to configure this stuff. I mean, that gives you the freedom on there if you buy the latest GeForce for like $5,000 or $2,000, you can go in there and max everything out if you want to. But if you just get a standard like 6700 XT, like I got, I can go into the AMD driver app and just tell it like, hey, give me the global optimization of this game based off performance. It'll automatically apply it to whatever game I start.
Yeah.
So, and I have yet to see it where like, whoa, this game still runs like butt. And I think the only one it does for me is probably Silent Hill 2 on PC, the remake. Because for whatever reason, I don't know if that game is properly optimized. I think there's a lot of feedback on that game on PlayStation 5, and I see it sometimes, and also on PC where people are excited about that going to like Xbox, and I think you know they he said yeah, he's got a good indication it's coming to Switch too. But I think most people are like, man, they're like, I don't even care if they can't get it properly optimized on the PS5 and PC because it runs rough on there. So it's like, why, you're hoping when these exclusivity contracts for Silent Hill 2's finish in October, and I think the rumor is that it will be early next year before we see it go on any other platform. That when it does go on other platforms, is that they would resolve that optimization issue. And I think Bluebird team has mentioned that they're working on getting it to run better on PS5 and PC and stuff like that. But it's going to be a year in like 3 months, 2 months, excuse me, since that game has came out. So
it's been that long.
Yeah. I mean, the exclusive contract's gonna be done soon. You're gonna see that Silent Hill 2 go everywhere. So.
Okay.
So I mean, not to mention, I mean, I don't know. So, some of that might be done on Unreal Engine 5 because we all saw the reviews for Metal Gear Solid Delta. I'm super excited about it. So they said there is some frame rate issues because they've done the PS5 and Pro versions, and they said the base PS5 plays better than the Pro.
Plays better than the Pro. I was reading that. I was like, this is strange. Yeah.
But what's awesome, and what I pulled from a majority of these articles I've read, is like there's many ways to play Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. But a lot of these reviewers agree, like if I was going to give you the ways of doing it, Delta is the way you would do it. This is the best way to play this game. Because it's faithful to the recreation of the original game. They left all the mocap features. They used the originals. They used the original vocal recordings. Because David Hightower mentioned that like he would love to re-record it. It's been 20 years. He feel like he's a better voice actor now. But they kept it true to the original. And it's like they said it's the premier way to play this game. So
I was reading some of the slowdown is in the same places as the PS2. Like it was the same code underneath.
Water, I think swimming and all that. Yeah, I think it's like those same typical areas is where you get the drops. So I'm excited about playing some Metal Gear Solid Delta. I think it's going to be awesome. And they mentioned earlier, like if this game sells well, we're going to look at our back catalog and do other remakes. So it's that whole thing. Hopefully it does well. I mean, I'm not going to buy 55 copies of this game, but I do have one pre-ordered for PS5. So.
On that note, I keep missing, as soon as I click the link, that $200 one is sold out. I would like the special edition of this game. It's a pretty special game to me. I have the standee. Where's it at? Standee's over here in the corner. I built that one when the game first released on PS2, but if y'all could snag that $200 special edition one,
sure.
Every time I see it, I click it and I'm late, and I'm like, how? I just got here. They must have like 5 every time they put it up.
Richard, I would hope that maybe after the game is released, I don't think they're gonna be easy to get, but you might have a longer window.
Yeah.
Like once it's out in the wild, it might be like, all right, it's gonna be probably Wario's famous words. It's probably gonna be sold out in the next 5 minutes if you don't jump down.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of like 2 seconds,
It's so fucking fast, and I immediately launch it on Walmart Plus. So it's like. It's usually Walmart that throws them up there, so I'm like, come on, Walmart Plus, put me at the front of the line. They don't give a shit. And every time I get there, it's like 100 plus people have this in their cart. They missed out too, just like me.
But yeah, I mean the things we pull from this announcement is the official launch date, which is what, October 16th was it? October 16th for both handhelds. Pricing is going to be done later. As Brand has mentioned, is leaked. But I think they're saying that just in case, because you never know, as Richard has alluded to, tariffs can change any time, and could change the price. So we still got 2 months. So the thing that interests me the most is that people were surprisingly amazed at how the standard ROG Xbox Li, which is $599, and it's not the most powerful one, but it runs. They basically called it a portable Series S, and they said it runs pretty surprisingly well from what they saw on there. So if it's, these are pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you get these as like I would look at it as all-in-one. You're going to do some, Windows stuff on here as well. So that's the way I would approach it.
And a handheld Series S is already compelling. It's a hell of a machine.
Yeah. So I don't think anybody should be shamed at looking at the standard one for $599. Just to, definitely play some Game Pass games. And just, I mean, if you're just something that somebody who just wants to test the waters and PC gaming, and it's not looking at, the best graphics or running the latest and crazy games with very little issues, I think that's a good beginner's point right there as well.
Good place to start.
So, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong about that. But yeah, so I guess we'll find out in the next 2 months. So how it looks. It's like I said, I'll be more excited to see, as Richard, you mentioned, the optimization and the compatibility and how that runs and how easy that is. So I mean, that announcement was just made, but they never actually went into details. But people tested it out at Gamescom and said, what they played on there's been surprisingly good. So looks good.
Yeah, they're highlighting the new Gears remake of a remake.
Mm.
There's two tiers to that. Go ahead, Cesar.
And they noted on here that the grips, which is new this time, is very comfortable. The R2 and L2 triggers are very receptive to the Xbox triggers and feel like that. And the colored buttons, they said it feels, even though it's not a Microsoft product, but it does feel like an Xbox product, like Microsoft made it.
Those grips are nice. I'm kind of jealous of the grips.
Yeah, they said no way. It doesn't seem like a knock off their name. It seems like they've partnered with them to do this right. So
I think they had said they weren't gonna wing something. They were only gonna do something that was true to the. We talk about this as an Xbox, but they're not gonna fully bastardize the brand. Like, they want to make sure that stuff is a good representation wherever it goes. There's 2 tiers of the handheld compatibility program that they talked about. Very similar to the Steam Deck Verified stuff that we mentioned earlier. So there's Steam Deck Verified and Playable. So their 2 corresponding tags on this thing are going to be handheld optimized and mostly compatible. I like mostly compatible. Yeah. Handheld Optimized says this indicates games that are ready to go with default controller inputs, an intuitive text input method, accurate iconography, clear text legibility, and appropriate resolution in full screen mode. So you can spend less time adjusting settings and more time defeating that next big boss. Oh, Metal Gear reference? Big boss. Mostly compatible gets you, this indicates games that may require minor in-game setting changes for an optimal experience on handheld. So extremely familiar to what we have dealt with the past, three or so years on the Steam Deck.
I mean, it's like you said, it's kind of exciting because I think this is the most that Microsoft has actually done in the PC Windows gaming space, outside of this is the Wild Wild West. You make it your thing and you figure it out. So they're really trying to push hard on making this work. So
my Halo 2 copy for Windows Vista, games for Windows. I mean, we were getting this back in the day. I remember selling Fable Lost Chapters, side by side PC and Xbox copies. So this has been part of their goal from the very beginning. It's just been 20 plus years later.
All right. So are we ready to segue to our next Gamescom announcement? Because this is all Gamescom shows. So like you said,
I got distracted by reports that Elden Ring on Switch 2 drops to 15 frames per second in handheld mode. I clicked that VGC link on the side. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I think that might be why we don't have a release date, because there was some talk about it where they announced it so quick, and there's some speculation on if that was all going to be on one cart, because they're it's a 64 gig cart. It should fit, and then people were like, it's going to be at this, third-party showcase that they're doing, and it never showed up there. So I think it runs perfectly docked. It's just people have noted that it is not the best portable. So
handheld performance, and the question of whether it fits on a card or it's a game key card again.
We know it's a game key card, so we're not going to go across that line. No, I'm calling it now. So
stick a fork in it. It's a Game Geek card. We need to have a whole
third party.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a Game Key card.
We need to have a whole segment where we guess whether it's a Game Key card or not of announced games. Kirby Air Riders is not correct.
Yeah. So Nintendo has said none of their games are going to be Game Key cards. It's going to be full on card. That's why the Nintendo games are so expensive.
And then Kirby's going to keep giving us updates. So
because
Game Key card's going to be playable, but it's going to be out of date pretty fast.
I think they said that the reason why, I think somebody who, I don't know who it was, but somebody had mentioned as a developer wise, I think there's a $15 increase on the 64 gig cards. And that's why we have Mortal Kombat coming out on Switch 2 complete. That Joker's like $69, $80. So.
Hey, at least we have the option, right?
I would prefer that, yeah. I mean, we know. Digital's going to do the right. They're doing the right way, so they know that's their audience. Want to complete on cart. It'll be a huge slap in the face if they're like, "Oh yeah, Game Key card."
Right.
It's like your whole point is preservation. It's like, why would you do this? So rightly so. They're like, what? We know they're going to pay for this. So I mean, it's that value. I mean, we've seen it on social media where you saw that the NSIA stores, like nobody's buying their collector's editions for those Switch 2 games because they're all Game Key cards. It's like you're going to spend $200 for collector's editions and they're just going to be Game Key cards in there. So it's like the product is not moving that much for them. So because I think
so even the everyday consumer, not just us that are like hyper focused on this.
So like Disgaea 7, I think their special edition is still at 100% on that website, and that game comes out in like not too long. So it's like they sold barely any. I think the new Trails game is at like 90%, and I think it's 75% for the Switch copy. So it's like people are not buying their stuff because they're like, man, you're hurting your audience. People buy your games for that. So
right,
but. Is some there's some they're not they're going to get away with it because Borderlands 4 who cares? The game's going to be updated like 85 times, like you said. I mean, you might get a base story on there. There's certain things on there I'm not going to be angry about. So I mean, it would be nice if you just did like a 32 gig card if those actually come out, or 64 gig card for like a solo story. But it's like, yeah, your multiplayer's going to be geeked up. That's fine.
We didn't get a Switch 2 version of your new Tales remaster either, did we? Was that only for Switch OG? That's not
because I think it's coming out. So I think it's coming out. Yeah, because this was kind of Gamescom adjacent. It's coming out October 31st, so it's coming out soonish. Because remember, Tales of Grace F came out January when they did the announcement in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming out really, really soon.
This was Xillia. Well, I think you guessed that's what it was going to be a week or two ago, but Tales of Xillia.
I am 90%. They said it's 3 years of the remaster program, and people were like, "Oh, Abyss is going to be next." I was like, "No, it's not. They're just doing these PS3 games that are stuck on there." So Xillia 2 will be next year, and then you're going to have everybody complain. They're like, "Why wouldn't you do this as a double pack?" So it
is confirmed to just be the first Tales of Xillia game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
maybe the next one will
Xillia
be the
one. No, next one's gonna be the second one. Okay. Both Xillia games are very, very well loved. We didn't see Symphonia, the second Symphonia, because that one was kind of mixed. So I was like, I can kind of see that. And remember, they went to the Romanian studio to do the remaster for that one. They didn't do it through
New Dawn or something like that. What was the name of that one?
Yeah, and they don't have it. I think Tosei might be the ones handling the remasters now. So
and we still got them.
Went to like an actual one.
We still got them both on PS3. They dumped both of those games on PS3 with that Symphonia Chronicles collection or something like that.
That is correct. But I'll
do my part. Cesar, I'll be buying this Tales so we get another one. Because if I don't, we won't get another Tales. I've been doing this for 20 years now. With Tales of the Abyss, which has already gotten one port.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have it off PS2 and 3DS, right? That's where that game is stuck at.
Absolutely. So this week, as we alluded to before, and we're going to go into our Gamescom opening night live. So this is what Richard has alluded to, is the Keeley's a la German style, right?
The German Keeleys.
Yeah.
Oh,
there we go.
Keeleys.
Das Keeleys.
Yeah,
Das Keeleys.
That's your episode title. Go ahead and write that down.
There's your episode title.
So they started out the show and they went in and said, all right, we're going to start out with a bang. And then they dropped a new trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops 7, where it kind of goes into the future set, years 2035, and they kind of jump around like they're in this machine. It's kind of like, it's like Matrix based. It's like it's a squad based game, and then they kind of like showed a trailer and they showed zombies, and they said there's a 4-player co-op, which interests me because all of us have an entry to that because this game is confirmed to be coming to Game Pass.
Yeah,
we all have Game Pass.
Okay, I'm down.
It'd be kind of cool to do a 4-player co-op on this one.
Yes,
but it is definitely, the story looks interesting because you go to like different areas. I think like LA, Angola, Tokyo, Alaska, and I think you're trying to traverse and look for somebody. So it's not like in a real world setting. It's not like you're stuck in like I mentioned before, like a Matrix based machine where you're inside this machine and you're looking for somebody. And it does have allusions to the previous Black Ops because it shows Mason's grave and Woods' grave and stuff like that. So where it fits in the timeline, I don't know, because Black Ops is, well, I mean, yeah, I don't think they're not dead in the current timeline. So I'm assuming you would find out what happened in there. I don't know if there's any spoilers in that, but it is confirmed that it's coming out November 14th. PS5 series consoles, PC, and I think they are coming out with a last gen SKU for PS4 and the ones that is still confirmed. I don't know if any of that's going to be nerfed because at that point on the previous generation before that, PS3 to PS4 or 360 to Xbox One, they were just all right multiplayer. Yeah, you get the new Black Ops, but it's multiplayer in the old ones. There was no single player.
When do we end up getting that Switch 2 version of Call of Duty that we kept seeing in all those court documents? When is that coming?
I don't think it's gonna be this year because I think remember this Nintendo
or Warzone.
Nintendo's being very coy on the development kits, right? Mm-hmm. Remember they haven't fully released them to everybody. There was an indie game today confirmed they're pushing back their game because of Silksong, and they haven't got all the development kits for the next gen consoles, which is shocker. I doubt it's going to be PS5 and the series consoles. So
yeah,
it was an allusion to the Switch 2 one because remember they're not flooding it out there for whatever reason. I guess so they can kind of stagger their releases and not flood the market. So
but also
keep the excitement going.
Also wouldn't think an indie studio getting a dev kit would be the same as Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard getting a dev kit for Call of Duty.
Well, I mean, we'll get to there. There's an update on that later. So
before we move on from Call of Duty, who is that actor in the title of this news story? I see him everywhere. I have no clue who that is. He looks familiar. He's in Call of Duty Black Ops 7. But he's at the top of this Eurogamer article. You know who I'm talking about on the far left?
I don't know. It looks like the guy from Lost. Who knows?
It does. That's why I don't know who that is.
But apparently he's Alex Mason's son, David Mason. I think that he was in like a Call of Duty 2, Black Ops 2 or something like that. So I guess you're still playing as him. Whatever. So next up, they're another big surprise at the show. They got rid of the world premieres because I didn't see any of those because I always make fun of them when they do show up. So next year we're getting Lords of the Fallen 2, which is a sequel to the 2023 game from CI Games. So they kind of just went through a short trailer. A game is set 100 years after the last one. And so you're in for more punishment if you are a fan of Lords of the Fallen, which just recently got a price drop. I think the regular price is $29 now.
It's been very cheap recently.
Yeah, they felt like the 59 wasn't moving, and I guess this might be the illusion why they did the permanent price drop to 29s because they're trying to build up momentum for this sequel coming out next year. So, outside of that, we get the next announcement, which was not a game, but a anime based off the game, which is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, is getting an anime adaptation that's going to be exclusive to Crunchyroll. Ooh. And then they showed some scenes, and this is done from the character design for Takahiro Kishida. And I forgot what else he did. And it's directed by Kenichi Kasuna. I want to say, Kenichi Kusuna he's the director for Naruto Shippuden. So I guess that was the excitement around it. I forgot about that. He did a good bit of episodes for Naruto Shippuden, which is well known for his action. There's been some judgment on there because they said some of the animation style was kind of rough, but we got to remember this comes out next year, so I would imagine that they would beef up on it a little bit more. So if you're a fan of the game, it looks like it's a little bit more of that in that world. So as they always say, please be excited for it.
Please be excited.
The next up was going to be Lego Batman Returns with Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. And you had a very enthusiastic.
This looks so good.
It looks pretty damn good.
This looks like fun.
Very enthusiastic game developer or director that made the announcement because he was pitching it and he was super excited about telling this story.
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys said on here, it does look great because this is based off his entire legacy. That's the whole. It's goofing the whole Legacy of Dark Knight, and they said it's going to touch on everything like movie properties, TV properties. It's like you saw him making Let's Get Nuts, and he's doing it to Heath Ledger's Joker. It's like it's all over the place, and it's the Bane jokes are in there. So it's like they seem to be going all in because we've had 3 Lego Batmans, but like this is their appeal to get something different. It looks a lot of fun. So and I think this is coming out
like this crazy open world, almost using like the Arkham style combat system for the Lego Batman.
Flying around, like jumping from building to building and coasting on the bat wings. Optimized like with HDR and stuff. This is going to be a beautiful game with that Lego style.
So we all were wondering what Traveler's Tales was making, and this was it. So this is their next big game. We've kind of known they've been relegated to Lego games, but they do them well. So no more Super Monkey Ball adventures for us. So next up, we had another announcement.
Finally, no more Super Monkey Ball adventures.
Yeah, let's take a game that's based off physics and rolling a ball, and let's somehow shoehorn it into like an adventure-based game and make it interesting. Yeah. So next we have as this, and I apologize because this is Eurogamer, and this article is being written by Dom Papiot. If you know his name, you can correct me on it. It's fine.
Dom.
So as he notes on here, Warhammer is on a roll right now because it seems like we're getting a Warhammer game almost every other month. Dawn of War 4 was announced and got a cinematic trailer. And Dawn of War 4 is a RTS game, so it's not the spin-offs of like Left 4 Dead or over the Gears of War based one. So this one is more of a this one's more of like kind of like more true to the board game, I would say, out of everything. Gameplay wise, let me rephrase that. Gameplay wise, because I'm sure those other stories are probably true to the board game as well. But this
just
gives
more
you the look,
like
as they
playing
said,
the miniatures that it's IPs based off of.
Absolutely. I remember having a copy of Dawn of War 2, which was also games for Windows Live.
Oh.
But I was lucky enough that was one of the ones that they ported over to Steam, so that copy followed me to Steam. I still have it. So,
have any of those come to console? Is this the first? What is this?
This is still PC only.
This is still PC. Okay.
Yep. This may change in the future. Who knows? So, we're seeing a lot more RTSs making the stretch over to consoles because we can do Civilization 7. You got Halo Wars, the Gears one.
Gears Tactics, yeah.
And those are playable with keyboard and mouse, right? So it's like you have a way of recreating the experience on anything now, because even the Switch can do that now. So Switch 2, excuse me. Oh yeah, I guess the Switch can as well. Third-party mouse.
You just plug in a USB mouse. It's even easier on the Switch 1.
Yeah. Part of the more preferred method.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an update from Monster Hunter Wilds, and it's getting a Final Fantasy 14 crossover, and vice versa. It's going back and forth. So I think there was some judgment on the 14 version because I think you had to complete a good portion of the game to get to the Monster Hunter part, which is not an easy entry for somebody who wants to do one that's collaboration that's happening in September. Yeah. So it's kind of rewarding.
Invested to that point,
which is fair. People are invested in this game. It's fair. That's fine. So it is what it is.
They also said this week there was an interview from Yoshi about getting Final Fantasy 14 on Switch 2, right? They're getting a lot of requests for it.
He said he specifically, as Richard said, 14 and 16. He said he had a conversation with Nintendo about getting both of those on there because he wants those two games playable everywhere. So, and that's Square Enix's model. Square Enix's model right now is to do the Capcom method. They want to get those games out there and start making that money, right? So, I mean, there's still some traces of some exclusivity stuff here that's iron out. It's been a lot of excitement about 7 Remake, which was kind of shown in the Raga showcase because that's a Play Anywhere title, and there were some
also coming to Switch 2.
A lot of people on social media said the Switch 2 version plays amazing. Like they said, it's. I saw people making comments like, "We know this is going to be a game key card, but I'm still buying this day one because it played so well." So
triple dip
because that was 100. Yeah, it's a 100 gig game, so we knew that we knew that's coming. So, but that's neither here or there. A lot of people have I've heard nothing but great things about it. So nothing. So here you'll get the series staples of Chocobos, and you have Omega Planties you fight in the Monster Hunter world, and you Cactars, which kind of littered all over the map. So a Palico is into a Cactar. So I mean, you have those touches that they have on there. It doesn't seem to be like a cheap collaboration. So and I don't know how long it's for. I know it's at the end of September, so it's only for a limited time. Typically, is how they go. I would say probably about a month or so.
It would not be comfortable to have your Palico as a Cactar, right? Always following you around. You'd be nerve-wracked.
Better than Tom Berry with an F. Yeah. So, hey man, don't want to get stabbed. Biggest fear. Next up, yeah, because he did like a 9,000 slash thing or whatever it was. Yeah. He always does.
Tom Berry will fuck you
next up. Yeah, he'll mess you up, man. I mean, he'll drop you down to 1 HP or wipe your party quickly if you get the bad RNG like I do. But next up, we had some more gameplay from Capcom that continued the show with Onimusha Way of the Sword, where they showed off standard mobs of enemies. The game still looks really, really good.
You're a big Onimusha
I'm excited.
fan.
Yeah, I mean, this Capcom we got right now, like Onimusha, the Resident Evils, is like primo Capcom. We're going back to PS2, GameCube era, Xbox. So I mean, it's a lot of these games are like throwbacks to that era. Even Pragmatic looks like something that would have came out in the PS2 era. It's interesting.
Did they? How did the Onimusha 2 remaster or HD version sell? Has it been doing well? Will we keep getting more of those? Will we get 3 in Dawn of Dreams potentially?
You would hope, right? You would hope. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's probably not. So I think I don't think they invested as much on this getting physical copies out and whatnot. So I think it's more of like a digital drop. So you would hope that they go ahead and finish out the third one at least and finish out that Sananosuke trilogy. But who knows? I haven't heard anything plus or minus about it. So I guess it just depends on how much it costs to port that game over. So next up we had Damien Ex Machina, Titanic Scion. They announced that the Switch 2 got a demo. Not only that, I think a demo was on PC and PS5.
Is this a sequel or
It is the next game in the Damien Ex Machina series.
Okay.
Which was made by veterans of Armored Core. So this one seems to be a little bit more in the story because the first one you tend to just create a character and you kind of lead you around with mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is kind of like in a whole overworld thing where like I want to say like the moon or the Mars is like destroyed and it kind of converts like it corrupts AI in that game and AI is trying to kill you as they build robots to attack humanity. And I think that's the majority of that story of Damien Ex Machina. I mean, you're like I said, it was a pro. The MC was just a creative character that didn't have much dialogue. I mean, you relied on the NPCs that were around you to tell that story. So next up, they called out the main cast for Fallout Season 2, which they have joked on there where they had I always want to say Pete Hines, but it's not Pete Hines. It's Todd
Howard.
that did the announcement for the first season because they're like, yeah, we were scared that if this show wouldn't do well, we didn't want to take the brunt of it. But this time they came out themselves, announced that they can. There's still confirmation that they're going to New Vegas, which has been a lot of people have been jumping on New Vegas the game now. So I've seen people like
so good.
That's the effect, right?
Yeah. And this is what they want, right? I mean, this is why that ill-rumored, not ill-rumored, but the Fallout 3 remake after the Oblivion one is coming. So even though people were like, "Oh, I've heard that may not be true," it's coming. So, but that's the next one on their best the remake train here.
Have y'all watched that Fallout TV show?
Not yet.
Do you like it, Brant?
It's very good.
Very good.
It's very good. I'm very excited to see because from the trailers and leaked set footage, there's all the stuff from New Vegas. There's a town called Novac, which is just a area right around a motel, and it's the no vacancy sign. And of course, the way it lights up now, it just says Novac. So, but that's got the giant dinosaur outside of it, and there's a lot of references to all of the New Vegas stuff, and so I'm that's the one Fallout game I have the most time in. So
we mentioned that
see the adaptation.
We mentioned that before because I think I've sent y'all that link where somebody had talked about oh man, they're faithfully recreating these Twisted Metal maps on this TV show. People are doing the Lord's work and
watching Twisted Metal too. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Second season's gotten way better. Yeah. It's they're starting to look at the games and it's starting to all right, let's use some of this lore from the games.
I think Buish enjoyed that first season of.
First season was good, but I think it was in that world. But I feel like it kind of lacked on the games are not the Bible or they're not the Homer's Odyssey or anything like that. It's
right.
Yeah, but there's stuff you can pull from it. It seems like they're all right, we didn't know this game. We didn't know this show was going to do that well. So let's go even deeper. So like I mentioned, somebody showed a recreations of the levels from the games are in there. It's. They got a great Brant, what's the name of the villain in that game?
Calypso.
They got a great Calypso. Yeah, I think the guy they got in there playing Calypso is really good. So,
dropping back to Fallout real fast, there were some coworkers at my previous place of employment who knew nothing about the Fallout games and enjoyed that TV show.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have reverence for that franchise or series, and you could still get something out of it. They were glued to it.
That's what makes.
You ever heard of this game series called Fallout? I'm watching the Amazon Prime TV show, and it's great. I was yeah, Fallout's amazing.
And that's how you do a good adaptation, right? Because you get people interested in that world, and you're like, what? I don't know if I like this game or I even play games myself, but I like this. I love it. I just want more of it, and then that's how you jump into the games. This is how you do an adaptation. This is how you do it. This is if you do it well. I'm sure those Fallout games jumped an uptick in sales,
Yeah.
When that first season came out. But I don't want to digress anymore. So they kind of showed some scenes for the new one in the second season, and it will premiere on Amazon Prime Video December 17th, just in time for Christmas. Next up, as we have alluded to, Richard, your solution to the answer to your solution or question from earlier is answered in this one. So we got a short look on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's a new DLC, The Order of the Giants, where they kind of did a trailer, and it's coming out day and date on PlayStation this time. So day and date, I think it's September 4th. Correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. It will release on the Series console, Steam, and PS5. And they had a little surprise at the end that this is coming to Switch 2 next year. So this is the first official Microsoft base push game that is coming to the Switch 2 console. Nate the Hate also alluded that, see that planet over there? You can fly to it. Starfield is not only coming to PlayStation 5 next year, it is also coming to Switch 2. So that is going to be it has not officially announced, but that's going to be your second game for the Microsoft staple coming over.
If we don't get Halo before then, or Gears,
I feel like for whatever reason Microsoft's not on the uptake on getting these on the Switch console yet. So, because there's another Microsoft announcement later on the show for their next cross-platform game. We'll get to that shortly. Mm-hmm. So we had another trailer for Deadpool VR, which is coming to MetaQuest 3. It's officially launched in December. We also had
the MetaQuest.
Yeah, this is like a mid-show rush. They showed that. World of Tanks 2.0 coming in September. You had a new trailer for John Carpenter's Toxic Commando, which comes out early 2026, which had some of the best music in the whole show. And then Ron Gilbert, creator of Monkey Island and Mansion, took the stage to do Death by Scrolling, brings back industry. Oh, yeah, was it Death by Scrolling? Yeah. So they did a world premiere for Death by Scrolling, which is a vertical scrolling RPG. I'm not going to say that word. Roguelike that sees you struggling through purgatory to stay one step ahead of the Grim Reaper herself. So it feels like a typical experience for me. Here we go. There are 5 playable characters. It's kind of like Vampire Survivors, but I guess you're just going vertically. So then you had Studio ZAUM show off their first game since Disco Elysium. I think we've talked about this before, where they kind of separated from that company that owns the Disco Elysium IP, and for whatever reason, and they created a new studio. And this is something that's kind of like a spiritual successor because it seems to be following in that same design.
There were some weird political goings on with that whole scenario.
Something similar to what's going on with like Subterranean or something like that. The other game where the CEOs from Craftarion just left because they were being dictated on how to spend their bonus money. They wanted to give it to the employees, but they were told that they couldn't. And then they were let go. It was like some weird stuff going on. It's something similar to that. So I'm just paraphrasing. I don't know if that's exactly right. If anybody's interested, yeah. I would look that up on there to get an accurate example of what's going on. And so this is just kind of shows the environment as concept art. Gameplay is an espionage RPG. You play as Herschel Wilk or Cascade, who's been sent on a mysterious assignment. You'll need to make the acquaintance of various people at the end of history, each with their own agendas. So it sounds interesting. Look forward to hearing more of it. I think you can wishlist it on Steam. Next up is Unbeatable, which is the music. It's like a music game with like a beat 'em up mechanic where you fight enemies in there with the beat of the music, which is interesting. I think I played this demo. This demo came out earlier this year. So if you want to play that, the demo's been out for a while. It should be available on all consoles and PC. And it's just an anime-inspired rhythm game that's developed by D-Cell Games and published by PlayStag. So it's officially coming to Steam in November.
Reminds me of the Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Without being too difficult
of it. Yeah,
it's not as difficult as that. That game's hard. We also saw, we also saw. They also showed trailers for a new anime gacha game, Neverness to Everness, and they battle for Honor of King's World, and they were followed by a new trailer for Delta Force, which I don't know why friend of the show Buish keeps trying to make Delta like Delta the airline and make this into a fetch thing, because every time he makes that joke, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. The name, it's called Delta, and the airline's called Delta, but unless y'all can explain it to me, I'll have to ask Buish when we talk to him tomorrow, because I don't understand.
That's his connecting flight.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's a reason why, which launched as of today on PS5 and Series consoles. So then we had a Ninja Gaiden 4 story trailer, which looks really, really good. It looks like Ninja Gaiden. So if you were concerned about the developer change and the direction, we already had a great Ninja Gaiden 2D game that came out earlier this year, which should be getting a physical copy shortly. Now we're getting a 3D one. Ninja Gaiden's firing on all cylinders right now, and this is another Microsoft release coming out in October. So there's a couple more months. Fall is getting kind of a little bit heavy since GTA is coming out in May, and when everything from May is going to get pushed back to the fall.
Trying to get the hell out of the way.
Yes, yeah. Now everybody's trying to throw their games now because it's either you do it now or you do it after at this point. So, and then you had another scissor reel, which they went over from Cinder City and Time Takers. They're both from NCSoft. Time Takers is a team-based third-person shooter, which brings together a group of rogues from across time to fix their past. Standard. Think Overwatch meets Apex Legends, and then Cinder City is your standard MMO fare, which lands October 21st. So out of all that, I think Time Takers probably might fit our bill since, we're a squad of people who like to play games like that. So
we do.
Next up, we had a new trailer for Silent Hill F, which I am still interested in. It looks really, really good. We have some of really Susie Young was the English voice actor of this game, so we got some English voice acting in there, which also sounds great. And we are a little over a month until this game comes out. As we said before in the show, Konami is firing on all cylinders. Metal Gear in like 6 days. Yep. In 30 days, we have Silent Hill F. So
it's awesome.
It's kind of excited time to see them back in there again.
Konami is a major player. Who would have thought we'd be saying that in the year of our Lord, 2025? Weesh is in the chat. He says, get those Sky Miles.
There we go. Should have known. So, also, we got a release date for Moonlighter 2, which is from 11-Bit Studios. I think this has been in early access for a while, or it's heading to early access, in Steam on October 23rd. And this is a sequel to Over Shock and Applause, Moonlighter 1.
Moonlighter, the first Moonlighter.
Yep. This time there'll be 3 biomes explored in your initial debut, unique enemies, players return from the biomes, relics sell. It's nearly 100 shops, dungeon perks, smooth. It looks like a bigger game from the first one, so this is probably why it's early access, so they can kind of flesh this out and make it bigger as it goes through, instead of just coming out and sequels are hard. I'm not going to sit here and spend all day on sequels are hard. It's hard to please people in sequels. Then you had a Outer Worlds 2 Companions trailer. Ask you to keep your hands off your pals.
Oh.
Still more of that funny humor. It still feels Fallout adjacent because this is the New Vegas studio.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have some of that New Vegas humor in there, and it's just in space. And I can't say that completely because the Outer Worlds is very unique as well in their own right. It's not the whole VAT system and everything. So
is this one coming to that Switch 2, or that hasn't been announced for?
Only Switch 2 Microsoft game that's been announced has been Indiana Jones.
Okay.
So, yep, and it just goes in through different companions that join you, and it's all gearing up for this game coming out October 29th, which is in a few months as well. Next up, you have Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is a Legacy of the Forge, which looks like you just play like a blacksmith.
Makes sense. Weird. Legacy of the Forge, it makes sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You also have a massive monster and Devolver Digital multi-million selling cult simulator. Cult of the Lamb gets a massive update in the form of Woolhaven, which is coming out in early 2026.
I know some Cult of the Lamb fans.
It's a lot of fun, because especially when you name some of your friends as your cult people and they get sacrificed. Like, who am I going to kill? Yeah,
like Oregon Trail.
Yeah, and you find out that your friend really hates you as they name everybody their Cessor. I'm like, damn, you just keep killing me over and over again.
The Cessor
some type of way about it.
Damn.
But outside of that, you finally got some life on Vampire the Masquerade, as they mentioned here, Bloodlines 2, which is actually coming out this year, ? So I think it's supposed to be sometime in October. They don't have it listed in this article, but there is a pre-order trailer where you can actually pre-order after this game has been rebooted several times. I think October 21st.
Is this an old PC series? Like I feel like I remember selling these in big box style.
It is. It is. It's one of those ones that I've had worked with coworkers where it's been very popular, where they do LARPing, and I have to sit there and listen in great detail about their LARPs of Vampire the Masquerade, and I wish not to talk about it anymore. All right,
moving along.
World of Warcraft Midnight. It's a classic Blizzard cinematic. So I mean, it seems like World of Warcraft is going back to what made them great. So now I think it's like a darker, like this Midnight expansion is more of like a darker story, something to do with the Blood Elves. I don't know anything about Warcraft lore, so this more be along Richard and Russell's lines since they've actually played the single player campaigns.
That's definitely Russell's shop. I was wondering if they were going to stop doing remember we were getting the classic line along with the new expansions?
Yeah.
This is a brand new one, right?
Yeah,
this is not a
this is
Crusade or anything.
It's return to form because they were kind of getting their butts handed to them subscription wise. Final Fantasy 14, you had a lot of people leaving, and they brought back Classic to get some of the people who wanted to play the old style. And it's like this is like their true return to form expansion. Like, all right, this is our next one. This is big with the OG game. So Midnight comes out at some point in 2026. So Ghost of Yūtai got another trailer, which they go over. New DLC in 2026. So Legends mode is coming back. Co-op 4-player. Post-launch sometime next year. It also includes a fantastical supernatural story, survival missions. It's kind of like a extension of the Ghost of Tsushima one. It looks really cool. Glad that you're carrying on with that one. I was a fan of the Legends mode. So
wasn't the Legends like a free spinoff? Can you download that for free alongside?
Yeah.
Did you have to have the base game?
I don't remember. That's a great question.
I think it was like a standalone, but I had the base game, so I don't know if you had to pop that in and it unlocked the Legends for you or not.
They did not go into details about that. I would imagine we'll see that next year.
Yeah.
Then we got a new trailer for Resident Evil Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And this one comes out February of next year still.
So good. It looks so good.
So you have the Requiem's protagonist, Grace Ashcroft. It kind of goes into a background story about meeting her mom. Like she remembers something from her mom in the past. And, I don't want to go too much detail about it. But, I think this game they confirmed can be played in first person and third person perspectives. So I think the third person one is mostly shown. And they show that the enemies can now like throw items at you like refrigerators and stuff like that, giving you another whole new way of terror. And remember, the rumor is that this is supposed to end the current Resident Evil arc. So this is going to be the end of the line. I hope everybody stayed off social media because they supposedly leaked some of the characters that are going to be in this game. That is spoilerish since it takes place in the future. And I saw the names. I was like, oh, shit. Hopefully that's not true. If it is what it is. Because they label who these people are. So it's from the narrative on those supposed cast listings, this is well into the future. So like 20 or 30 years.
Damn.
Next up, we also, and I think this is the end of the show, right? Because that was the second to last.
Yeah, this is the last one.
Black Myth Wukong is getting a sequel called Black Myth Zunku. Will be an all-new follow-up. I don't think there's a release date. This games typically follow August 20th, around that time, to make these set announcements. So I don't think we'll hear anything from this game again until next August.
Yeah.
But it's a true successor to the first game. So if you like the first game, then this is going to be up your alley. So Zunku came as a natural choice, born as aspiration and other contributing factors. They're confident this new project will make refreshing changes. So, it's basically more of what you love from game science. And so, no release date, but they did promise it's coming to PC and consoles. So, like I said, I would not anticipate hearing or seeing anything again until next August. That's typically their thing. And that, in essence, is what happened in ONL. So, there's some other announcements that were sprinkled in here and there, but that is your big ones. So,
the important thing was Bubsy.
Oh yeah, the pre-show.
Yeah, they did some Bubsy.
Yeah, they did do an ONL pre-show.
We went from Bubsy 4 announcement to 4-player co-op, and I was like, damn, a 4-player Bubsy game? Who are we going to get the 4th copy of Bubsy to play?
I just saw that. I was super excited that they got the developer for Demon Turf, which is a if you love 3D platformers in the N64 era, Dreamcast era, play Demon Turf. Just watch a video on it. It's phenomenal. It's on Switch. It's on PC. I think eventually came to Xbox, and I think finally to PlayStation. Great game.
Demon Turf.
I'm super excited for when I saw they were making this 41 because it's like this will actually probably be good. So you can argue about the IP sake, but
I own Demon Turf Queens Edition. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I think there was a spin-off. So it's just all the
ultimate version of the 3D platformer.
Yeah, if you look at it, it looks just like a 64 game.
And Fabraz is that studio you were talking about.
Fabraz, yep. Thank you. So so before that, looks like I'm looking on PC Gamer here. I believe it's the one that has a PC Gamer. So they ended that show with Bubsy 4D. Before that, they announced there was a new Battlestar Galactica strategy game coming out early 2026. We got the Night Dive's next remaster, which is LucasArts Outlaws plus a handful of missions, which is a wink wink to me and Richard's favorite movie series here.
I never heard of this Outlaws game either.
It's an old LucasArts first-person shooter. It's really, really good. You can still buy right now. You can still buy it on Steam. It's like $5.99. So get it before they delist it.
Ooh.
Densha Attack, which is a game where you do Tony Hawk stunts with a Japanese train, which looks really, really good. I'm excited about that. You also are getting He-Man beat 'em up. There's a beat 'em up for everything. I'll buy it. It's coming from Limited Run. Sure. This is the age of beat 'em ups. We'll go with that one. Absalom is coming October 9th. Ghost Runner's creators are back with a horror-infused alternate history of the Napoleonic Wars called Valor Mortis, which looked really interesting. Then you have Long Gun, which is a pixel art Last of Us. I guess that's the best way of describing it. Then you had a update on Remember Routine, which has been announced 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that is coming out before the end of this year. You also had Chinese games are the things right now, and they're popping up everywhere. So you had a look at Sword of Legends from the beloved RPG series Guijin. Then you also had Rogue Kings, which is I guess offshoot, or it's going on as they made a joke on here, is going on the horning in on American Truck Simulator's turf. We also had
horning in.
Yep. Ha ha ha. You also had a crossover event, as you know, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. The cross in there, get it, ha ha. You're going to get some Sonic levels in the new Pac-Man game, as well as Pac-Man entering the Cross Worlds racing game. And that's going to be another one of their premium DLCs on both sides. And so you had a preview of a little bit of both. I think, looking back at it, and then it goes into the show. So I think that is everything. Yeah. I want to say there was a Euro Truck Simulator announced here at some point that is actually coming over there, but for the first time. But I don't know if it was on the show or right before. But yeah, if you want to look at Densha Attack looks really good. So anybody's listen to me, just watch Densha Attack, because it's like as soon as you fire it up, it starts up the level and it looks like freaking Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
So
Densha Attack. What's that coming to?
I think it's consoles and PC, if I'm not mistaken. So
there it is. Ooh, I like this already. It's cel shaded as hell.
Yeah. It's a very PS2 Dreamcast. I would say Dreamcast game. So
Densha's Train, right? Like Densha They Go.
Densha is Train. Yeah.
This looks crazy as hell.
You should know. You just watched the anime where they mentioned Densha a lot. So.
I did.
Oh, yeah. You're watching in English, so it's probably they said Train, but yeah, in Japanese is Densha.
Yep. Looks like Infinite Densha, right?
Mugen is Infinite, yeah. Infinite Train, yeah.
Yep, I wish listed the ninja attack. It looks insane.
Yeah,
It looks
awesome.
very good.
Yeah. And I mean, if y'all get a chance to watch the He-Man Masters, because the He-Man doesn't look like
Oh,
a cheap
yeah,
beat
that-
'em up. So
looks
it looks
really
like a proper IP beat 'em up. I was like, all right, let's go. And that's great for us because, we all like to do the beat 'em ups as a multiplayer type game. So
Those are always good streams. Was it
yes, always a good time.
Is it .emu or Tribute Games or a combination of the two that they've been churning these out here recently? These 80s franchise ones?
Yeah, I think this one's done by Bitmap Bureau. But yeah,
Bureau.
you're correct. Yeah, it's like emu Tribute. Because Tribute, I think now is Tribute brand back to doing Scott Pilgrim. I think they're doing the new Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, I believe so.
I believe. I think this time they had the IP instead of Ubisoft, and I think they're doing this one themselves. So
we need to stream the Power Rangers game. I've been provided a copy by.
Oh yeah,
friend of the show.
We gotta play that. But that is your O&L news. Probably spent a lot of time already as it is.
This is a news heavy show. It's like having an E3, so
yeah. Very tired.
We talked about Battlefield a little bit. Did you have something else to add there?
No, I was gonna say I was gonna hand it off to you to carry on and to get on to games played.
Games played. You'll get your world premiere.
Hopefully, not as meaty as what we just went through. So give everybody a break here.
No, I played Battlefield with you guys last Saturday, and I think we turned that corner. Like it felt like we were really clicking. We won some. We had some really good pushes. The tanks didn't feel like these insurmountable odds. Like when somebody got in a tank, they were just going to destroy us. I felt like we took out tanks pretty regularly. I talked about it in the beginning of the show. I don't know what else I want to add, but I kind of still wish we were playing Battlefield. Like,
you're right. It seems like the fixes from the first weekend pushed in there. We still had some sniper fights, but it didn't seem impossible where you were taking 2 steps and it was like enemy at the gates, like you alluded to, because it's like you were always constantly hiding, moving. So I mean, there was some of that. But yeah, you're right, because Richard, you're a fan of the rockets, so you got in the flow of destroying tanks. You're like, tank down, tank down. And you got in that rhythm of playing your job. And I was sitting there bringing everybody I could back to life. I was like, shh.
You revved the hell out of people, man. And I didn't realize how advantageous that class was, because I was like, everybody can res anybody. Why would you pick the medic? But when you're trying to res somebody, man, it's like a 10-second process of you holding out the insulin and then trying to pump. I call it insulin. I know it's not, but it's just that's my frame of reference. Like I do this every day. So
as a medic, you just get out those paddles and
it's so fast. Like you're down and I would see Cesar come by me and it's like, he didn't even drag me out of the way or anything. I'm just up. It's like, ooh, that's fucking awesome. They're like,
I have a lot of things. As somebody should never say in real life, I've had a lot of fun with those AEDs because I would also revive you guys and I would put on enemies and they would kill them instantly. So
we could call the show fun with AEDs. So this is up to you guys.
I've had a lot of fun with AEDs because, like I said, I've killed a lot of people, shocking them to death, and I know they're pissed because it's like they die faster than a knife stab because it's like one shot, they're instantly dead. So,
you killed people with them.
Yeah, you kill the enemy with AEDs. Yeah, you hit them with the paddles.
That's been a thing in Battlefield for a long while. I think it was 3 or 4 you could do that in.
Very satisfying. Let's put it that way. Very satisfying.
It's very it is
very satisfying.
I think it was like a trophy and an achievement at one point in one of those games.
Would get you that by killing somebody with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we really got in that rhythm, and when we played one of those tech tests, I really did great with the rockets. Like I was able to be strategic with those. And I even remember Mark's night was like, Richard's our rocket guy. And then I forgot about it. I forgot about it in that first week we played. And then I finally picked that class. Was it support or engineer? And I'm like, well, this fits. I love this gun and this thing, and I love this rocket. And I've got like 6 rockets. I could be taking out a tank. Each rocket was like a quarter damage to that tank, depending on where it was already at. So, minimum of 4 shots. Just live long enough to get some of those off.
We're all good on the class, right? I mean, I'm good. I tend to do better on the support, like medic ones, and you're good on. that support one. And there's some people who like Buish should probably more on the assault because Buish is always
he's the better gun fighter out of us. Yeah,
gets the kills, right? I shoot the gun and it goes 85 different directions, and I'm like, oh, it's like me aiming for the toilet after having 6 beers. It's like I'm not going to hit the target. So it's no point in me playing that class. So
unless we're in the water after the 6 beers, then it's okay.
Oh, I'm hitting everything. Yeah, I'm like, I don't have to worry anymore.
Bring back the water maps, you coward.
Yeah.
Oh, but we've got some time, so they haven't announced another trial, right? And that game's October or something? We got a couple months.
Or 10th. Yeah, I think it's 10/10, right?
I'm already going to
not Adventures of 10/10, but 10/10 the date. So
yeah, I'm already going to have that. I already have that itch now, but I think I'm going to want to mess around with the Battlefield. So I don't know if we look at 2042 or we look at one of the World War II ones, or don't we have access to 3 and 4 on the
I think so.
Xbox consoles? Yeah, you just can't. They turned off servers for PS3 and 360 for those titles, but you can play those titles via Xbox backwards compatibility.
Brandon, is 3 completely dead? And I think 4 is the only one that's up, or something like that, or 1. I can't remember which one is which.
Because 3 is last generation, so that one's dead on 360 and PS3. It's up on PC, of course.
I was gonna say it might be, it might be 4, Xbox One or Battlefield 1. What was it?
5.
Hardline and 20.
Yeah.
42.
I heard Hardline was good. I heard Hardline was a good game. People were just kind of tired of that. I don't know if it's that formula or the way it was like a cross-gen title, but I know Hardline wasn't super well received when it came out, but
yeah,
it's everything I read about Battlefield's online.
You sent us that article earlier about like 2042, not being the greatest game at launch, but apparently they patched it and everything's really, really good, and it's $3 and some change or something.
Yeah. It's $3 on Steam. What is it? Do we have access to that one on Game Pass? Is that what you were saying? We could play 2042?
Yes, I believe it's on Game Pass. Fairly certain.
Shit, I say we give that a go. I absolutely want to scratch that itch again, and we can really see if that formula, because the Battlefields are very similar, right? But our experience with the new one with 6 are very solid. But we can kind of get a feel for if we still want to stick with that gameplay type. I kind of want to try it. Cesar and I played 2042 before it was in Game Pass. I think we got GameFly copies or like Best Buy copies for $5 or $10. What was that other game we were trying to talk you into all the time, Brant, that would always drop to like $5 or $10?
Gosh, I don't remember.
Skull and Bones, maybe. Get on
it.
We can stream Skull and Bones. But I think we picked up the PS5 copy of Battlefield 2042 pretty cheap off of GameFly or something like that. And
I mean, it should be on Game Pass, right?
Yeah. I was seeing like you and I played that first level and it was just a bunch of bots and we never died. We went undefeated and we won the map, and then he and I were like, this isn't that great. Let's play something else. Yeah. I think we moved on from there. But they've had, and I played the beta for that one. That one was because Mark's Knight's been a Battlefield fan since 3. He bought me 4. He bought me the PS3 version to go with my launch PS4, because you could pop in that PS3 disc and pay the $10 Path to Victory. And we got the PS4 copy of Battlefield 4 at launch. That was a big moment, getting that updated Battlefield and playing on the new DualShock 4 and how much better that felt for shooters and stuff. That was a big improvement there. I think we give 2042 a shot. Maybe do that tomorrow in addition to Delta Force, in case Delta Force is like another Rainbow Six moment. we get our fill from it in like an hour, and it's like, this isn't our cup of tea.
But say it wouldn't be bad, I guess, to just have a backup. We'll download both. Yeah. It's probably not that bad of a download.
I think Battlefield 2042 is pretty hefty. Cesar said Delta Force was 20 gigs for the campaign.
20.
Whatever that main build of it is. Might have to clean out the fridge a little bit on I'll probably do Xbox on both. I think I have Battlefield 2042 for PS5, but I'll probably do Xbox on both for simplicity.
I think I already have them downloaded on PlayStation. I need to get a bigger storage capacity for my series consoles. So.
Do you? I keep cleaning out the fridge for stuff we don't play. It's like we'll play something and I'll delete it later and just come back to whatever.
Yeah, my rotation's kind of high because I do a lot of those rewards programs and you have to play like 8 games a month. So I just don't like having to sit there and download 100 gigs over and over again. It gets old. So
yeah, I get it.
But it doesn't matter because I think I want to say they're all crossplay, right? I think Battlefield 2042 is the only one that's crossplay. I think all the other ones are locked in. Delta Force is crossplay. When I went in there, I turned crossplay. I turn on.
Oh, cool.
So.
Okay. So I guess platform of choice for you guys tomorrow. Give that a go.
Yeah.
Shit, is Battlefield free on PlayStation, or do you have to get the?
I think
do I have to pop my disc in there and get the latest update.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just gotta pop your disc in there and get the latest update.
Yeah, I might split them up. We'll see. We'll see what works best. That is it for me. I played Battlefield with you guys. Did I talk about the power pad? My kids wanting to bust out the NES power pad. I might have told y'all or sent you a picture.
I'm about to say, I think you showed us a picture.
Offline.
I don't know if you...
Yeah, offline. Yeah. I don't think you talked about it on the show.
I'll talk about that briefly. My kids a couple weeks ago, they helped me clean up the game library a little bit. And so I've got an NES power pad, which is like an early DDR style pad. It was mainly used for track and field games, and there's a dance aerobics game. Famously, the most expensive NES game you can try to find is called Stadium Events. That's like the holy grail for NES collecting. It's what, $50,000, $30,000, something crazy if you have a copy of Stadium Events for NES. I don't, obviously. But they were helping me move some stuff around. They saw this power pad. It's like, Dad, what is this? I'm like, okay, we'll break it out later. And they never forgot about it. And I was like, oh, God, we actually got to do this. So it's the NES. I'm looking at the NES right now. It's hooked up. And since we cleaned everything up, there's room. Brant is bemoaning the loss of floor spaghetti. Brant, you'll be pleased. There's a mild case of floor spaghetti starting. Yeah, like a sample portion, not like the full course Maggiano's style, but like maybe an Olive Garden sampler. Not never ending pasta. Okay. But just
not Pasta Max.
What was left over after a night of Pasta Max?
Oh my God. No, because that's not even floor spaghetti. That's indiscernible mass solids and liquids in two directions. It's crazy. Oh, no. The byproduct is in two separate spray fields. Woo. We're trying to identify what happened here. So I have World Class Track Meet. What is that game called? Athletic World. And then we got out Dance Aerobics. And the power pad, I'm happy to report, still works. Still slides across the floor as you like run and jump and do all that sort of stuff. But they got a kick out of it. There's one game on Athletic World that's like a rafting style game. Y'all remember the rafting game on Kinect Adventures? Like the killer app, I guess, for the Kinect is that you're rafting and you're jumping back and forth and you jump over logs and you duck down to go underneath bridges and things like that, and you'll jump at the end and the camera takes your picture and stuff. It's a very similar experience to that with the power pad, but you jump back and forth on the pad to move your character on the screen. So there's no camera reading your inputs. You're moving back and forth on the pad. Then, so I'm looking at any games I have. There's only 7 games made for the NES power pad. And another one I have is called Dance Aerobics. So I'm like, all right, let's pop this in. And it's everything you imagine from the 80s. It's the leotard. It's those socks, like the high roll socks or whatever they call those things. And
tube socks.
Yeah. And it's straight up aerobics from the 80s. But there's voice samples on it. You hear her counting like 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, this is not something you would normally get from this type of cartridge. I was very impressed to hear voice samples coming out of the NES. And it's walking you through like you match up what it's doing on the pad, and it rates your like how well you're doing. They just had a blast with it. So I showed them a small clip of DDR, and it was more of a professional level, like somebody's just burning up the pad, right? So I think they're familiar with pop music, and I was looking at some of the DDR games that I have, and I've got like a Disney DDR, I think, for the Wii, or at least like not not Disney like Hakuna Matata and Little Mermaid, but like Hannah Montana and Jonas Brothers and stuff like that era of pop music. And I'm researching Wii dance pads, and I think that's going to be a thing that we do. I think that'll be something they'll both enjoy, like together, seeing those arrows go up. I'm always down for some DDR. I think it's a lot of fun, even if I'm not good at it. Famously, did you ever go to the DDR arcade with friend of the show Joel Brandt back in the day? So they probably, this probably won't surprise you. Dixieland Fun Park, which I have no clue what it's called now in Fayetteville, used to pay this dude.
Fun Time or Fun Spot or something like that.
Yeah.
Now,
and here's where all of our worlds collide. We would go over there with David Tay, who I believe Cesar's familiar with, friend of the show, David Tay. And they would pay this dude to play DDR at that to get people like around and all that sort of stuff. And it was just, those were crazy times. And he was very good at it. And he had the mat at home, but it still was like the power pad. You would dance on it, would just slide across the floor. And I know there was like improved models that you could get that were more, they fit into like a frame contraption almost, and you could sit that flat on the ground. So we're going to mess around with this. And I've got the DDR Mario mix for the GameCube. And there was also one, I don't know if that's a Japanese only release, but there was a Disney DDR for the N64. And I'm pretty sure that's Japanese only, because we got PS1 DDR games. Yeah. I mean, what kind of, you don't get great sound samples from N64 anyways. That would just be a novelty coming out of that cartridge. You didn't get full blown CD quality audio or anything. So if anybody listening is familiar with some good setups or can recommend some good titles for that, they would definitely want to hit, like, tap on the arrows, like true DDR style, not the Connect party where you wave the hands around with the camera or do the Connect controller or the Wii mode or anything like that. They definitely want to dance on
the Star Wars dance.
Oh God. That came with Mark's Knight. Mark's Knight bought the R2-D2 360 console. He bought that system with the dancing Wookiees and the stormtroopers. Brad, do you have that game? Brad streamed the Star Wars Connect game.
Do not have the Star Wars
I have
Connect
it.
game.
I don't know if I have it either. How much is a copy on eBay? We all play multiplayer Star Wars Connect and stream it.
Oh no.
Give the people what they want, Brant.
Oh.
It's a $15 game. Holy shit, it's kind of expensive. All right, here's $9. Okay. That's just the first couple. It's a $5 to $10 game. Still more than I thought it would be. I mean, they had this out on like E3 stages and stuff. This was a big deal. But I will pass the baton on. Those are mine and my children's games played. A lot of Battlefield 6 beta and various Nintendo NES Power Pad games for the Power Pad.
All right. Not much for me this week. I kind of dabbled around a little bit of everything. So I think the only thing I've probably put significant time in here, and I'll touch on a little bit, but I won't take up too much of your time because I'm ready to drop off here any second.
Friday night.
I've other obligations I have to take care of. I did play the Trails in the Sky first chapter demo, which is available now on Steam.
How is that?
PS5. And I think it's coming at some point to Nintendo Switch. It's not on the Switch store yet. They did confirm that you can buy a Switch 2 copy digitally for $1 if you own the physical copy or a digital license of the first game of the new one on the Switch 1 console. So that did come to light. The demos are not available on those yet. I've played it on PC and I've played it on PS5, and it seems to be just the very prologue of the game, which can be a slow burn, but it fits and translates well in this new 3D engine, which kind of fits more of the new Trails games that are coming out now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Republic of Calvar arc they're on now, where they kind of done the battle system more of a active time battle where you can move around instead of being typical turn-based. Because to paint a picture, this game originally came out, and this started the whole arc they have on the Trails in the Sky, right? Or the Trails series from Legend of Heroes that they're on now. That's been going on for almost 20 years. This was turn-based. This was isometric, top from above, and this was like essentially a PSP-esque RPG that kind of got converted into PC games, and it follows that aesthetic. So it was like in between, like a Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1 type of gameplay. They faithfully rebuilt this engine, like I mentioned before, with the new Trails games, like the Republic Cavalry ones. So the example I've used earlier with the Metal Gear Solid Delta, like where they kind of took the original stuff and put it in a new engine and made it like it's there. It fits that segment here. They invited the original 2 voice actors from the English version of those games to revoice those characters. The only difference is that they used to tell a lot of the emotions in this game was done by 2D art with the text box, where they would show the images of the characters and their faces would react as they talk, and they were very animated. The protagonist is Estelle Bright, the only main female protagonist in this new arc. One of my favorites. She's really good. It's very tomboyish, and so man, you play as Estelle Bright and Joshua Bright. The game starts out as Cassius Bright, Estelle's father, brings home, as he calls it, a gift for Estelle, and it was a boy wrapped up in a cloth that had taken a beating in battle, and essentially starts off this whole quest that involves them, where he becomes a member of their family and is kind of like raised as her brother and his foster son. And they haven't gotten to details about where they're at. And so as you go through this game, like I said, this is just the prologue part where as you're waking up, you're on the final day of where you have to take your test to become a bracer, which is kind of like a mercenary in that country, Liberal, which is, I guess, the equivalency of like a small version of the UK, because they have a queen and a princess, and each country in that world is ruled differently. So this one is a monarch. The next one is done by a prime minister or chancellor, and the one after that is a president. So you get different type of political aspirations in there and how they interact with each other. So the character art in there, so like I mentioned, I was talking about before I derailed, is that they use 2D art to kind of express emotion. They've done a lot better job on this one where everything's fully 3D. And so as you get close-ups of like Estelle and Joshua's face, you'll see Estelle's eyes kind of go white. All that expression that we're seeing, like these K-pop demon hunters, all that like manga-based expression is shown on the 3D characters. And it stays true to the form of the original game, but gives it a fresh coat of paint.
I was wondering if modernize it now. That. Yeah.
And so it's not turn-based anymore like it was in the original one, like I mentioned on the asymmetric turn-based, which is, if you like old RPGs, it's kind of cool. They do have a mechanic in there where you can speed up the game now. You press LB and RB, or L1 and R1, depending on your controller set, that kind of double times the game. So when you get into those battles, you can kind of just go through it a lot more quickly. And so, as I mentioned before, you're going to this course. I think where I'm at now is I'm going to the school to take the final test to become a bracer. That's where I stopped at. I know this game like the back of my hand. I can keep going and tell you what goes on next, but that's where I'm at.
You played through this one multiple times.
Many, many times. I've beaten it several times. This gives you like a taste of conversation from NPCs, because they let you know, like, hey, different arcs, you'll get different NPCs. They'll tell you different things. It's more like that old school RPG stuff that we kind of moved away for. And instead of it, they kind of like making it more linear that we see now from like RPGs. They, like I said, they faithfully recreated kind of like the Metal Gear 1, where like they took everything, the characters, the dialogue, they put in this new engine. It's a lot of love in this game. I think they said it takes about 80 hours to beat this game. I think it took me about 60 to beat the original, so it seems like it's a little bit longer. So I'll play through it. I think it's just the original prologue, which you get to a certain point where it'll ask you to save the game, and that'll carry over to whichever version you're going to buy. So
always love when they do that.
I can lovingly talk about this game. Is one of my favorite RPGs of all time, but I'm not going to sit here and do that, because the MC, the main characters, the protagonists, the antagonists, the villains. They're all memorable in here, and it's like it's one of those games, as I've told Richard before when he was interested in getting into this new Trail series. Your bad guys in one game is good guys in another one, and your good guys in this game are bad guys in another one. So it just all depends on the political or socioeconomic climate, depending on the different worlds and lands you're playing in, which always makes it interesting.
Right?
Yeah. So like you even have your Avengers moment when you go Trails of Cold Steel, where everybody gangs up together from the Zero series, the Trails in the Sky series, and the Cold Steel series to take down their main villain. So who's running everything behind the scenes? So you get your little Avengers moment in there too, and you interact with these characters that you've grown and get attached to over the first 6 or 7 games. So it's like you have those type of moments. So it does it pretty well. But yeah, that is it for me. I can go on and gush about this game series. I've probably dabbled in some other things, but I'm not gonna. Like I said, I'm tired, and I don't want to take up anybody else's time. So I'm gonna pass it on to Brant. So.
What are you playing this on, Cesar's Prologue for Trails in the Sky first?
I've played this both. I'm playing this on PC, my home PC. I've played this on the Steam Deck. I've played this on the ROG Ally, and I've played this on PS5. So it's not really
a little bit
any bad way of playing it. They all play pretty similar. The PC version is surprisingly hefty. So if on the Steam Deck, you're probably going to play on low and medium settings. It will put your frame rates to the test if you go high or ultra. So my PC over here, I'm playing on my home PC. I'm playing ultra with no issues. So
okay.
So
maybe a PS5 this one instead of the ROG or the Steam Deck.
I mean, you can. It looks great either way you get on there because it's like it's your favorite look, Richard. It is like a cell shaded thing look, which tends to not age badly. So it has enough detail in there.
Timeless.
So yeah. All right, Brant, please.
Really quickly. Just still dabbling in Black Flag.
Assassin's Creed kick continues.
It's so easy to get lost and go hunting and whaling and all this. Just go pillage random places. But I did continue with the story a bit, where we caught up to one of the Templars that Edward had met before. He was a governor, but he had since given that up. And he'd tracked down the sage that everybody's been looking for, and there's somebody else that has him and is ransoming him. So, he has a bunch of gold. Edward's like, okay, I'm gonna use you and your gold to try and get to the sage, because I still want to grab the sage for myself and then sell access to this watchtower thing or the observatory. So he tries to use the Templar to get at the person that has the sage. It kind of goes backwards because his some of the assassins show up to try and kill them, and the Templars figure out that they're being followed. They kill the deal. Dude goes back to his mansion, and then you have to eventually wind up sneaking in, finding him, killing him, and then the sage actually winds up coming out and is like, no, that dude wasn't keeping me hostage. I was here like working for him. And then he alerts all the guards and winds up getting away in the commotion. And then in the interim after that, Edward and his pirate fellows are still trying to run their own little society there on Nassau, but they're worried about the British Royal Navy getting onto them. The just that looming threat of them coming and possibly taking Nassau again, and there's rumors of that they could possibly be trying to give early pardons to pirates that give themselves up, and then of course the people on Nassau not really in the best of shape either. Yeah. They need medicine, they need other supplies. So they come up with the idea, and this is just how it introduced another mechanic to you of salvage, where you're going to these shipwrecks and like looking for supplies and medicine and everything else on these ships that have sank. So you get a diving bell, and you have to dive down in the diving bell. It has like a little air pocket, and then you swim around the ocean floor there and search for treasure and other supplies. And
that's cool. I never got to that part in that one.
It replaces of course there's not going to be guards or anybody under the water, but there are sharks. So you have that same, like, there's sharks swimming around, and you have to like lay low and get in the seaweed and make sure they don't see you. And you have like an air meter, so you have to like constantly like look for these different places to go up and get in these air pockets.
Sonic,
refill your air
Sonic
meter.
Underwater.
Cesar's Nightmare.
Brant, have you found the cigar shop on Nassau, or the Konkfurter stand, or the location that sells Kalik beer? That's where you need to hunt. Cesar can confirm.
You need to hunt there?
Yes. The Kalik beer is worth the trip to Nassau alone. Was it Kalik Ice or something that was like the extreme one? The one that was so good?
I mean, they all have the same carb levels, right? Like,
yeah, they did.
Which is amazing.
They were all good. Anyway,
I think
I highly recommend the beer in Nassau.
The beer in Nassau is good.
Yeah. So yeah, Brant, if you ever do want to partake in the beer and you want the Kalik, I think there's one shop in Savannah that sells it. So
Savannah is not that far.
Straight from Nassau. It'd be the true way to play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
I did send you that Black Flag Assassin's Creed whiskey. Or no, it was rum. It was rum.
That was cool.
That I sent you.
I cannot drink rum, but I thought that was very, very cool.
But yeah, other than that, it's, running around. That's the only bit of the story I've done, because it's just so easy to get distracted, and you're going in the water and sailing, and then look, there's a great white shark over there. Let me try and harpoon that. Oh, here's another place I haven't been to. Let's see what this is about. And there's I gotta run around this town and collect more sea shanties. So
add more songs to the crew.
Yep. So that's been it for me.
More Assassin's Creed. All right, let's get out of here. It's Friday night. You guys got anything else you want to add?
I think we're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week. We will catch you next week. Bye.